Hi guys, so basically I wanted to put a background, I want to tell you a little bit of a story. I'm going back to COVID for this. Um, so let me just take these off. So basically the story is about harassment of government services. Yeah, it sounds boring to some people, maybe not to others, but normally I know how to put a background on here, and I've tried to make this video by showing you this particular screenshot that's on one of my other phones, but I haven't managed to do it. I'm just going to pause. I haven't managed to sort of successfully do the video. I know how to put backgrounds on here from screenshots, but I lose the filter, and my goodness, I need it. So basically the story is how it goes. It's supposed to be about, I read it a few days ago, harassment of schools and, well, basically, in my area, and controversy over other schools being harassing to parents. Being like spies. I'm saying that in inverted commas, as in not literally, but the way we see it are all government services have been spies for a very long time, guys. They all watch, and believe me, I know people who work with them. They are my friends. They live in my street. I've made friends with people at school. I've talked to people, asked questions. Believe me, they've always been like spies. I don't mean the word literally. They're not literally spies, but they have always been a certain way. So with that in mind, I think I might need to put my glasses on. The story I'm going to tell you, like I said, my son, it's over COVID, and I think we all need to be careful. Basically, we were harassed by my son's school, and that's just one service that watches what you're doing. So during that time, he has an EHCP. I won't go into details, doesn't want me to, but he knows I've already mentioned that he's got autism. It's so mildly, unless you spend a couple of hours with him, you wouldn't know. So with that in mind, other schools, so I don't know about you guys, what your experiences are, and you can tell me if you want, but other schools would do all sorts of things, put like a plan in action. It wasn't as serious at first, it could just be something simple, like I know people just had an email once a week. Over the time the children were off from school, guys, it got more serious. So more was expected. It's difficult for parents. The government did not appreciate that we weren't qualified, and a lot of parents were working from home and had lots of things going off during COVID. So this is not a great angle, by the way. So with this in mind, it was, well, our school didn't, and I do feel like we were singled out and discriminated because I've got health problems, and mainly because my son has the EHCP, and that happened, we got that. So I won't go into that story yet, but that happened just before COVID. No, actually, I think they got him some support. I think it happened around the time of COVID. He went back to school early. I'll talk about that another time as well. That was because he was vulnerable. We got the assessment during COVID, guys. Anyway, it ended then. So anyway, with that in mind, our school didn't just do that. We didn't just get emails. We didn't just get one phone call. Other people were getting, like, before the Zoom meetings, other people were getting phone calls every 2 weeks, and we did at first. But we do feel like, from what we were told, because he has autism and he had the support, and this is when they didn't have all the support he needed, that took a while. Even when you get the diagnosis, there's no guarantee that you will get all the support that you need. We were advised of that. But because of it, there was something there. We had Senko phoning us up one day, another LSA phoning us up another day. We had a teacher phoning us up another day, and then we had pastoral care phone us up another day. So what went from being a phone call once every 2 weeks to see if the whole family was okay seemed to be more, you've got to pick up, it's a legal requirement. No, it wasn't a legal requirement to pick up the phone. A lot of the time, things were going off where people were busy, or we couldn't pick up. We caught COVID at times, we were too ill, we didn't want to pick up. Gregory wasn't going to be talking to them. They insisted that they talk to us, and we got Gregory out of bed even if he was sleeping in or he was ill. So they became very strict with it. They wouldn't give up until we picked up the phone. I mean, eventually it ended up being 5 days sometimes that we had a teacher, some teacher or other, phone up, and it felt like they were checking up on us. Now I know the government was obsessed with abuse at this time, thinking that parents were hiding it, or most of them, and the Zoom meetings came in to help with education, and I know that it was also to check on what's going on in people's homes. Now our home is crammed. Our children, our older two, moved out and came back. So we're crammed. And people were decorating at that time. Various things were going off. My son is at the moment living, or well, not living, but he's sleeping in what would be our living room. So we couldn't go there for the Zoom meetings. I mean, some children, the school accepted that they couldn't be there for the Zoom meetings, but I'll go more into that at a particular time because my son couldn't cope with them. But the Zoom meetings were to check on what was going on, and we didn't want them checking up on us. We didn't feel like they needed to. We felt like they were checking up on us more than enough. I was struggling to tutor my son, and they were sending sheets of homework that the same sort of work that the other children were doing that he couldn't manage. It was taking me 2 hours just to try and explain. I mean, we had breaks. Well, not 2 hours, but it was taking me a long time. We had breaks. I didn't make him slog away at it. But it was taking a long time just to explain it. Once he understood what I was saying, could he then do the work? And it was difficult trying to do that. I was struggling because I wasn't well. It was only me trying to do it. I tried to get my sons tried to help. Anybody else living in the house tried to help. So it was difficult. And then the school's phoning us up. And if you didn't pick up twice, if they called twice and you didn't pick up, they'd send them around to house. Like I said, it wasn't safe for the teachers or the families to do that. It was a time when we were supposed to be keeping away from each other in lockdown. So it was all getting a bit crazy. I was getting fed up, and they were putting pressure on us. And then they'd phone up and try and talk to you. Oh, can we just talk to Gregory, please? Like they were checking up on us. We just want to talk to you. Is everything all right? It's like, yeah. It wasn't about setting work for him. And it's like everything's fine, or we're too ill, or whatever, we slept in, or whatever was going off. We were just trying to make the best situation we had. I was trying to sit outside and get him some exercise. I got him trying to do a bit of exercise in the front garden. Whatever we were doing, and then can we talk to Gregory, please? And it was really obvious that, they're asking questions. They were checking up on us. They were spying on us. And this is the worst case of spying on I've ever known. And everyone's like, well, they weren't doing that with us. We were just setting us homework. They were checking, are you doing your work? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And then they'd have a laugh with me, some of them. One of them made the odd comment, was a bit awkward with me because we were allowed to make essential journeys. That was it. We were only allowed to make essential journeys at the time. But when things eased up a bit, we tried to get him outside. He could go and visit places outside. And they were saying, oh, you do like going outside, don't you? And I thought, well, yes, but that's all we can do. And my husband, it was strange, and there were comments made. I don't know if there's anything meant by it because it seemed to be the person's manner. But, it's not really. Then I don't know. It's like they were checking up on us. Guys, they've always been spies. They've always been a little bit like that. We've been told by, or advised by services and told by other parents that, well, we found out because we're just easier going, that they do push it more. They do push it more. If you comply and you're easy going with them. But the people I know that have stood up for themselves, even got the police involved against school services, anything like that, to me it seemed a little bit over top, but I don't know, it depends what's gone off, so I don't really know with that. Maybe it was needed, but people who've had to take things further against these services, the services have backed down. They have got too much power and they abuse it. I could go into other stories, but I won't because it's too private. But believe me, they do abuse it. They didn't used to. Like I said, they used to leave you. They used to respect the fact that you are the parent and leave you alone to get on with parenting your child. But a parent cannot parent their child now. They are being watched by the government. And I was told years ago that you're always being watched. Everybody's being watched. Believe me, by more than one person. And it's worse than ever. Because they are abusing the power, they are allowed to get away with this. So this article I've seen in the papers, believe me, it was, we had to say something to the teachers eventually because they were stressing me out. We were struggling, and I was struggling with mental health because of my health problems, and I was telling them what they were doing, harassing us and not leaving us alone, was making us worse. And eventually they backed off, but not completely. They will push it if you let them. Believe me, we've been through a few things, but like I said, they didn't used to be like that. They'd give you a chance to grow as a parent. They don't now. They want to shape your parenting. believe me.